Welcome to the arcade showdown between Analog and Error. Very excited for this matchup. Analog, a returning player in the arcade showdown. Error, we've been searching for a good matchup for him, and I think this is going to be a good one. 83. Oh, okay, there we go. 88 versus 83. We'll see how that goes. So today's rules will be most points by 45 minutes, as we usually do it, and 1 point past room 10. So they have to get past room 10 to start gaining points, and past 30, they will start getting 2 points. So that will incentivize them to keep that run beyond 30 even if they get a bad room. Analog, Error, are you both ready? Error is ready. Analog is ready. All right, so the countdown will now begin. Here we go. On 0, we'll start the timer. Go! All right, so here we go. We have the arcade showdown between Analog and Error. Error with the PB of 88 right there, and Analog with the PB of 83. We have the audio currently on Error. Both players heading to the right. Will we see a CWJ? Nope. Both players working on that CWJ. Not quite getting it. And Error, or Analog, decides to just go. Let's see if Error just continues to do it. Analog immediately gets errorx room, first room. Let's see if he can do this. Oh, takes a hit right away. That's a reset. That's a reset. So, that's one of the poor rooms that you can get in the beginning. Analog decides, you know, it's not worth it after I missed the damage list. And Error gets the CWJ and heads on to grab that morph ball. So here we go. Let's switch the audio over to Error. Now, something to keep in mind. One of the problems, as we've discussed in the past, with getting these early morphs, the early bombs, is that leads you to that early charge beam potentially. And that early charge beam means that you can potentially fight the bosses, Fantoon and Kraid. You can avoid them if you take the left doors. However, if you take those right doors, sometimes you don't have the choice. And on top of the fact that you want to take the right doors because you want those early beams, that's one of the issues with that early morph. So you can see Analog is kind of flying through some rooms, hasn't found that morph ball yet. Unfortunately, this is kind of a difficult room right here. Let's see if Analog can get through. If he touches a crab, that's going to be lights out. They do too much damage when you have no suit. And right off the bat, we see Error fighting Bomb Torizo. So Error now standing on the correct pixels. Yeah, so has definitely figured that out. This is one of the probably a 6 pixel spread that you can kind of sit on and you're going to be completely fine. Analog, let's see if he can weave through. I'm sure Error is going to get through this fight just fine. And Analog makes it through and takes that right door because he wants those early beams if he can get them. Not only that, but you also want that early speed booster. So here we go. Error is slowly chipping away to Bomb Torizo. 40 shot fight, I believe, if I have my numbers correct, and no damage. So there you go. You can see Error actually came into a little bit of history that we learned just now. Error started playing Super Metroid Arcade because of Analog's first arcade showdown. So here he is, after watching what was going on with 88 PB challenging the very person that basically got him into the match. So really exciting stuff. But here we go. We have Error heading over, going up that green hill zone. Gotta watch the hoppers. Right now, they don't do the crazy amount of damage, but always gotta be a little careful. They hit bot for 20, and okay, gets a big health, so recovers right there. And Error's gonna go ahead and pick up the missiles. Now, one of the things I'm going to say is, because Error kind of got into this from watching the arcade showdowns, that kind of tells me there's a good chance that he's kind of been watching intently. And you can see, like, he knows where to stand for the BT fight. He knew how to grab those missiles. He probably knows a good amount of the strats in several of these rooms. You can see he's well versed in getting all the secrets, grabs that wave beam. Analog's history is a little bit different. Let's see if Error can make it through. Now, Error at room 10, just holding left, that's completely fine. Later in the game, stages in the game, you can't be just holding left. You will get clipped by the pancake on the way down. You're gonna have to either down back or do a spin jump. So, but for now, that's fine for Error. He makes it through just fine. And now he has high jump plus that wave beam. Let's see. Analog gets that grapple beam, and he's gonna have to, with his really kind of weak P shot, shoot these 3 musketeers, or not the 3 musketeers, the budget musketeers through 6 times with each P shot to get through. but that makes it good for the next room. So yeah, ooh, this is gonna be a little bit, with the grapple, Analog's gonna be able to grapple, kill all these little bugs. He does not want to touch the red pirate. That will definitely get him killed, so avoid those red pirates. And ooh, Error definitely don't want to stay in that acid. That acid will chip away at your health very quickly, and Analog gets that speed booster. So very good item for Analog, the best item I would argue in arcade. And Error is heading up this parlor. Let's see which door he takes. Is he gonna go for any sort of cleanser here? No, just taking that right door. Wants those beams, has watched these arcade showdown long enough to understand, hey, I want to take the right doors because I want those beams. And yep, gets a free room for with this result. So one of the interesting things I'm noticing is Error is often not holding the dash button. So that might be as a result. Oh, a YOLO for Analog makes it through. He's gonna go ahead and ooh, Analog, that's a little tricky. Uses the grapple to get the farm. Is he gonna go for the missiles? This is so dangerous. The spikes hit for 60. The acid will wipe away his health extremely quickly because he has no suit either. Here we go. Error getting a pretty quick room. And he's just gonna bomb up here. So Analog's gotta be careful. I think the metal screes. Oh, the metal screes. When you spark past them, you activate them. But because you fly past them, you go off the screen, and they were about to fall on you, but because you zoom past them, they didn't have time to fall. So once they go back on camera, they actually will fall instantly because they already kind of revved up their charge, their running animation. But here we go. Error is gonna have to quickly get up here. Look at that, crouching down grab to get up there. Up, doesn't quite make it. Let's see if he makes it this time. Analog gets the spazer. There we go. So you can see here that Error clearly has recently learned how to play arcade, because there are some things that Error is not doing that is maybe more typical for someone that has either like speedrun the game or someone like Analog who's watched a lot of speedruns before playing Super Metroid, because he's kind of not holding the run button as often as you might expect, and the down grab was maybe slightly less intuitive for him. But you can see like it's not a coincidence that he has these room 88s, because he knows how to get through these rooms. Okay, so Analog is gonna go ahead and just go down this sand pit, and Error's gonna head to the left. Both players doing very well in this run so far in this showdown. All right, here we go. Free missile for Error. Grabs the secret and heads on out of there. And Analog is heading down this elevator. Oh, Error's gotta watch out! This is lights out if he gets hit by anything in here. No, the ouch gets them! And the ouch gets them. So, oh, if Error just took a little bit of time to snipe out the fly, that would have been so good for him. But either way, that's good for 16 points. And let's get that audio on to Analog, who has got the plasma beam. Okay, so here we go. We have the score changing for Error to 16. Okay, now Analog with the high jump boots. This is the same wall jump that you'll see in worst room in the game. It's the exact same wall jump as worst room in the game, aside from the fact that visually it looks a little bit different. But this is what you'll see. Any percent speedrunners that run fan tune first and have to go up there, that's what they do. And oh, Analog! Oh, that's a dangerous spark. Okay, that worked. All right, so because the pirate at the top shifted over to the right, Analog didn't get sniped on the way down. So that worked out really well for him, and Analog gets that not plasma spark bonus. So very well played by him. All right, so Analog heading down, and Error is gonna head over to the right. Past these crabs, gonna have to jump over one of the crabs on the right. Well, jumping might be a little risky, so he might just wait it out or shoot the crab. And heads back down. So one of the things I'm kind of seeing with Error, look at that jump over the pirate, that was amazing, the key hunter. One of the things I'm seeing about Error's play, his PB, it seems to be no coincidence, though he may not be going for the crispiest movement strats, he has a very consistent approach to this, right? So you saw him carefully jump over the pirate and avoid any damage, so very well played by him. And here we go, nice little strat, he's just running off. Now you could optimize and try to do little spin jumps off, but kind of taking his time. Nice little spark for Analog, that was kind of cool. I guess it killed the bug right there. But yeah, you could see Error kind of has an approach for a lot of these rooms, and that's really what, even in speedrunning, randomizer speedrunning, arcade, having a solid approach towards each room is what's going to get you very far and give you consistency in something like an arcade showdown. So Error's gonna once again fight BT, and Analog is gonna grab that secret and grab the missiles and head over after killing these two. flies and is gonna head over and finally get his charge beam. Now, with the charge beam, what that does do, of course, as we've alluded to in the past, that does mean right doors. And here's the problem, the left door as well. If without the grapple, it would just be Kraid and Phantoon on the right doors, but you can get Dragon on the left and right doors, and the moment you get grapple, Dragon is now in logic, and Dragon with this loadout, this health, is basically a reset. It's kind of a game over situation. You don't even have the health to spark Dragon. However, I mean, I guess in theory, Analog could do it because he does have that plasma, and the plasma does kill Dragon pretty quickly, but plasma alone's not that great. Room 30, is he gonna go for it? He has a charged plasma to do some damage. However, Phantoon currently is hitting for 80 damage. 80 damage, 2 hits, and that's a lights out for Analog. So let's see if he can get through it. Is he gonna get the mid? Ooh, doesn't get the spin jump, so doesn't get the pseudo through the cap of flames. Oh, Analog, aim up! Okay, he really wants those health. The plasma might phase through. He's gonna have to go ahead and, oh my gosh, wow. Okay, Analog gets a few hits there. Air getting his first set of power bombs here. Analog going into the fetal position, dodges the flames. Oh my goodness, is he gonna be able to do this? Oh, Phantoon chooses the spawn right on, but Analog gets a charge shot off. So, oh my gosh, Analog 1 hit from death, 34 HP when Phantoon is doing, no, the flame hitbox takes Analog out. So, he does not get to benefit from any of the double point bonus because he did not get past room 30. However, that is good for 20 points. And that means the current score is now 22-16. Error getting through the pancakes and waivers. Taking his time. This is a spot where I would actually take out the grapple, and if you're really trying to get through it quicker, I think you could just lay a powerbomb and kill everything in the screen, but that's completely fine. Air walking over to that elevator, heading down, and getting that morph on room 18. All right, Analog quickly dodging that crab, and we got that morph. So far, Air banking 26, room 26, and Analog banking room 30, so this is looking like a really, really even matchup. It's very exciting to see this. Air heading over to the right, and Analog also getting that smooth bonus. And here we go. Now there we go. That's one of the problems of what we were talking about. Gets that morph, immediately gets Big Pink, and gets that charge beam. One of the reasons why you're gonna find Big Pink very often is just the sheer amount of doors that are in here, right? Big Pink has multiple left doors, multiple right doors. It's kind of hard to dodge it, but you know, if you can extend it for a long enough time at this level, it's going to benefit you a lot in the showdowns. Now, Analog getting an extremely slow room. What I want to see from Analog here is damaging down this first pirate. If he wants, he can get the secret up top. He can try to sneak it. However, I think he just wants to run through the next pirates because it just takes too long. Oh, good way. That's a sneaky, safe way to grab that secret by Analog. I like that. Morphing, dodging the visual from the crab, and just goes ahead and, yeah. Oh, wait, is Error going to go for the grapple jumps? That's a single. That's a single. That's good for 1,000. Is he gonna go for the others? Here we go. We're gonna see that swing. Oh, a little bit too much velocity, and the balloon kind of went up high. So gets the single, and then you know he said, okay, that's enough for me. I'm not gonna try again. Analog is gonna try to get the smooth bonus here, but very well played. It clearly seems like Error has practiced this in the past and has probably gotten the quadruple. So if he was able to bank the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, that would have given him an incredible amount of time to continue forward. So very well played. You can see Error knows all the good arcade strats. I just wish he'd hold the run button a little bit more. But here we go. Error heading down this elevator. And Analog gonna take his time with 39 HP is usually safe, but you can get stuck on these spikes down here and pretty much die from it. So Analog taking that a little bit carefully. The fire fleas in that room typically will always drop power bombs. However, if you don't have any power bombs, they almost always drop big healths as well. So good way to kind of get a little bit of health back. And I'm gonna grab that secret, and Air is heading down into the business center. Had the option of using a super to get to the other side of the room, but chooses not to do that. And Error once again getting Big Pink. So Error actually, look at that. This guy, he's got a smart brain. He sees the big pink and he's not thinking, oh, I gotta go get charged. Immediately understands, I actually got big pink not too long ago. I have the charge beam. Let's exit out the right side. So very well played by Air. Heading over to the left, and yeah, he's now at the double room multiplier. So the first 2x multiplier points of the day, and we have Air. Every room from here on out is going to be banking an additional point. So room 32, 20 points plus the two bonus points. So that's so far now at room 33, currently banking 26 points and moving forward ahead with 1 minute and 15 seconds left. All right, so Analog, let's see. With that space jump, he's gonna have to actually unequip the space jump if he wants to skip. Oh no! Air takes a quick hit and dies at room 34. However, that's good for a good amount of points. That's good for 28 points, in fact. And we are gonna switch the audio over to Analog, and that means Air now is good for a total of 44 points. Analog is going to have to make this run to catch up a little bit. Oh, will Analog get the quick fall? Can he get it? Trying to wiggle, doesn't quite get it. That's the quick fall gives you 10,000 points, which is at this point in the game would be worth basically an instant 40 seconds on the clock, which would have been really good, but doesn't quite get it. And Air takes that death. However, Analog is now down 24 points and is going to have to make this one count, because if he takes an early death, then that means Air is going to be banking a good hefty lead on Analog that can only really be made up potentially at the end of this. Oh, Analog getting stuck a little bit in the water. Oh, the crab's going up. Oh, what are you gonna do, Analog? The crab's going up. You don't know where he is now. You have no clue where he is. Okay, was able to kill the crab. And let's see, will he lay the power bomb at the spot? Yes, he will. Now, how is he gonna take care of the rest of the crabs right here? Because there's potentially three more crabs that he has to kill. With that power bomb, he should be able to kill this crab. It might not be the cleanser. It's not the cleanser. There is a crab down there that's basically scamming. Yeah, oh, he's right there. Get him, Analog, get him. Lays the power bomb, doesn't want to chase it. Gets the crab, gets the cleanser, 5,000 points. And Air is fighting BT. All right, so, oh, okay, well, Analog does have the ice beam, so that was fine. I was gonna say, he may have gotten a little bit scammed. It would have probably been fine because it's only room 21. He probably would have been able to survive, but maybe not. One of the problems is you can get this room, and without ice, you have to do either a set of very tricky wall jumps along the bottom, or you have to just damage boost across. However, if you fail that damage boost, it might chain you into landing in the vital plumes and basically losing all your health and dying. But Analog gets through just fine, and Air is heading over to the right. All right, so Air running over, quickly taking care of this. Let's see, is he going to grab the missiles? Yep, grabs the missile pack. And let's see the route he takes. He's gonna go along the bottom left. No, will take, nope, yes he will. Oh, okay, jumps in, grabs the secret, and Air. You know what, room 7, these guys are not hurting that much, so that's fine. Killing them for the points, and Analog is heading over to the left. Air quickly realizes, okay, that guy went off screen. I'm not gonna go chase him down. Let's just move on. So, quick and efficient movement by Air. I'm liking his play. Analog, meanwhile, zooming over, jumping up that gravity door, and is rewarded with a wave beam. So, probably the best beam that you can get in arcade because it's not temporary and it goes through the walls, so it can deal with pretty much everything that you want to. Analog, you can see right there, is choosing to spin jump to the left, and he should be fine. Gets a few extra kills for 500 points each, and Air is also rewarded with that wave beam. So, very, very good for Air and Analog. A great start for both of them. Solid looking beam from both. Air is just gonna go ahead and farm these little worms for 500 points each. Oh, Analog's getting really close to that pancake. Air is gonna have to go up green hill zone. Ooh, takes a hit. Now, Air is now at the first multiplier. So these little hoppers are not really tickling him. It actually takes a significant amount of damage, especially because he doesn't have any E-tanks. But goes ahead and grabs the missile, and let's see if Air can get that smooth bonus a little bit. Meanwhile, we have Analog getting through the thread the needle room. The points are worth quite a bit on the way, so you're killing everything. That's why that wave beam coming in handy just in time. And Air, nice, gets that smooth 2000, and Analog gets the cleanser and heads over to the left. In Analog, unfortunately lost his run speed, so was gonna kind of very slowly make it across. Meanwhile, we have Air with that speed booster. So, Interesting loadout for both players. Things looking kind of good for both. Ooh, let's see if Air can do this quickly. Ooh, Air is gonna have to be very careful. This is a tricky room. Air may... Ooh, oh, Analog gets Batoon. So, tricky room for both players. Let's see if Analog can do this. Ooh, Air on the spikes, has to watch out. Take it slowly. Ooh, Air gets clipped by the farm bug, but gets some health back. Ooh, dodges the farm bug. Meanwhile, we have Analog throwing charge shots at Batoon. The only thing we're worried about is maybe the top pattern. However, Analog doesn't want to get caught jumping during the shot. Ooh, jumping during the shot. That might put the fireball at the weird spot. Okay, Analog gets through, makes it through that right pattern. Oh, I get really nervous. Oh, he's crouching. I get really nervous when I see stuff like that because now you're in a different position. Okay, but looks like it's fine for that position. However, will Batoon stop spitting? Batoon is no longer spitting, and that means at below 500 health. Oh, don't die to the big hopper. Okay. Analog is going to make it through this fight as long as he stays on the left side and jumps, and he does. An error. Can he get through this big hopper room? Because this is a really difficult room. You have to figure out a way to move and manipulate the hoppers. Wow, look at this. Look at this wise play. So he's going all the way to the other room to lure them as far as possible. There's probably still a chance that he dies. However, oh, the hoppers are getting synced up. However, oh no, lays a bomb. The bomb betrays Air because the bomb propelled him upwards to get hit by the hopper. What a scam. That was unfortunate because that strategy that Air had was so intelligent. It was a very free, it's not the quickest. However, it was definitely gonna get him through. He had that completely under control, but accidentally shoots while morphed, and the bomb jumped him into the thing, and that was just, I'm sure he wasn't too happy about that one. However, room 17, he is good for 7 points, and that makes it 51-20. However, Analog is in room 34 at the 2x multiplier, currently gaining 2 points for every room, and Analog's gonna have to make this one count because Air has already gotten there before. 24 minutes left on the clock, and both players playing solid and playing consistent. That's what I like to see. And here we go. Air is just slowly going down the Terminator, grabbing this D-tank, and he's gonna head through that left door. High fives from both of them. Analog heading up of the Terminator room. I love it when I see the players kind of high five each other. It's always a fun one. Seems to happen a lot in these arcade showdowns. All right, so now we have, ooh, Analog with that Spazer Wave, an amazing combination, especially in this early game. Ice can kind of sometimes slow you down. Speaking of ice, we have Air getting that ice beam. However, this beam, oh, okay, so Analog also has ice, but, so that means full PRKD beam for Analog. This is the best beam you can get minus the plasma temporary upgrade, and Analog with the high jump is kind of trying to get Alcatraz here. Will he get the Alcatraz? Nice speed booster for Air and nice Alcatraz for Analog. All right, so Analog gonna go over and just bomb that left door. Air had the option of picking up a missile and super missile at the bottom left of that room, decides not to do that, and is gonna have to go through this slow room. Now, he's already at room 10, so he's gotta kind of continue on forward at this point. If Air touches one of those spikes, probably lights out for him. If he sits in the acid, he has to jump out quickly or else he'll be in trouble. One of the deceptive things about this room that Air is currently doing is he has those high jump boots. So if you have those high jump boots, you're, ooh, gotta get out. It's really easy to accidentally jump into those spikes and then you get comboed down into the acid and immediately die. So Analog once again getting this Leodox room, normally a little bit slow. However, with this beam combo, can offset some of that slowness with the 1,000 points that he'll get for each kill. So he's gonna go ahead and do this. And now he's gonna probably see a Moonfall. Nice super missile pickup for Air. It's a great free room and grabs that secret really quickly. Analog currently cooking it up. Air with the wave beam. So great start for Air. Now here's the thing. Analog is really crushing it on this run, and he needs to make it count because he kind of did lose a lot of time early, decided to reset an early Leodox 1, room 2 basically. So yeah, Analog's gonna want to make this run count to, ooh, nice lands on the platform. But yeah, Analog wants to make this count to make sure that he catches up to Air, and I think he's doing a really good job on it right now. Meanwhile, we have Air, maybe doesn't have that morph. Ooh, and Analog gets that Spore Spawn. Now let's see if he can get through it. Analog, as of right now, should be ahead of Error. So what Analog wants to do is make sure that he can finish this fight off and complete his lead. However, there is a real-time factor. Ooh, Analog doesn't get the charge beam, is gonna have to wait another cycle. Oh, bomb jumps up. Oh, that's exactly what happened to Error right there. So just gotta be careful. Don't want to lay a bomb when you're morphed. So here we go, another charge shot attempt. Ah, doesn't quite get it. Doesn't quite get it. And Error is getting through that BT fight, gets another free super missile. So yeah, Analog's gonna have to make this count. Watch out, there's a lot of spores. Ooh, loses the damage list. Okay, will he get it? No, oh, he's opting to use missiles. That was a nice Doppler that he got right there. However, the missiles are so much slower. So here's the thing, Error's already killed a mini boss and has already gotten like 3 rooms in the process of Analog getting this. Now, that being said, okay. I don't know if that's quite the play. You know what? It worked out for him. Wave does try to change the hitbox of the beam. So the idea behind unequipping Wave is that, okay, I'm gonna use charge shots and I'm not hitting with the Wave beam. So I'm gonna try it without the Wave beam instead. Tried to hold the charge shot for a little bit. But got a little bit nervous. He's like, oh, I have to release this now. He's gonna close his mouth and then release the charge shot just a little bit too quickly, and unfortunately missed that cycle again. Ooh, Error took a fall right there. Is just gonna go ahead and kill the worm as a backup and then head back up and take care of the pancake. So here we go. Ooh, so one more charge shot. Analog getting really close, and there we go. Very well played. Analog taking it a little bit conservatively towards the end, but in the end gets through the fight and keeps that 2x multiplier. All right. So here we go. Analog is heading over. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds left. That's a lot of time left for Analog. And we have Error heading over to the right, already at room 24. So picking up those points, getting close to the 2x multiplier himself. Now, keep in mind, at room 45, the multiplier of the damage multiplier, the scaling has gone up 4 times. So Error has to be a little careful. The Rippers probably won't kill him, but don't want to take any excess damage if you don't have to. And Analog, no, hurry! Oh my goodness. Had to be a little bit careful. The little B-toms start hurting at this point, so had to be a little bit careful there. Makes it through, is rewarded with an E-tank, and Error is heading down. And a plasma beam for Analog. So this is his run. This is looking really good. This is the one that Analog really wants to make count because, wow, plasma beam is huge at this point. Ooh, that pirate got away. So weird things can start happening. Oh my gosh, Analog, you had to be so careful there because that pirate almost clipped you, but he survives. Is he going to go ahead and go for the spark? Looks like he's just trying to get up there. Doesn't want to get the spark. Yeah, and goes ahead and gets out with that plasma beam. All right, so Error, these crabs are moving a little bit quicker. 2 free missiles for Analog. So Error taking his time, killing the crabs and heading over to the right, is now at room 30. So every room at this point on counts as 2 points. And another decent room for Error. It's fine in arcade. However, when there's real time on the line, this room does take kind of a long time. So even though it's probably going to be a decent room for him because his beam is good, it is taking a lot of real time. And we saw Error pick up a lot of points on Analog because he lost a lot of real time on that spore spawn fight. So here we go. Analog gonna go ahead and grab that secret. Analog in really good position right now. If he continues on forward, then it's gonna be really hard unless Error can also pop off on this current run that he's on. All right, so Analog heading over to the left. Got a little bit nervous on that jump. Didn't want to like jump into the power-up by accident. And Error is going to go ahead and not get that mock ball, not get the early speed booster. Sorry, early supers mock ball. Just rolls out and heads to the right. That's completely fine. And look at how fast all these things are going. The flies don't really hurt that much. I don't think Analog would take a death if he touched the fly. However, once again, don't want to take that excess damage, especially when there's 5 tiers of multipliers on you. Ooh, hard room for Analog. Oh my gosh, that Sova almost got him. The time is ticking. The time is ticking. Doesn't have that various suit, so taking that heat damage. And Error, nice, is able to get that quick wall jump. Analog gets a nice power bomb. Is Analog gonna go for, no. Okay, Analog not even going for the smooth bonus. I was gonna say, if Analog can go for that really crisp short charge, can get the 5,000 points. However, decides not to do it. It is a pretty difficult thing to do. But we have Error rolling down, heading over to the left, And just Air, I really like his consistent play. Just kind of knows what to do in every room and is going at his own pace and is just honestly doing quite well. Now, gotta be a little bit careful. There is a crab up there and he's just gonna stay up there. I think Air blew out the blocks at this point, so that crab probably went ahead and left, and Analog gets that down back. Yeah, okay, so that block was actually blown out by Air, so that crab actually just left. It was the global crab, and he's like, I'm out of here, so didn't have to deal with it. If Air took way too long though, that crab probably would have circled back and went back down and hit him, so well played. Ooh, and there we go, with a little bit of tech for Air. Let's see, he's got to aim down. Ooh, okay, well played, gets the up the shaft, and oh, are we gonna see a moonfall here from Air, or is he just gonna jump down? Okay, he's just gonna jump down and get the cleanser bonus. Climb is such a good room to get. We have a speed boost for Analog, so good item for Analog, but yeah. So Analog, room 64. I mean, he's on the pace for like a PB at this point. So with that plasma, I mean, oh, Air, gotta be careful. All right, is able to clear out the popper, makes it through. But room 40 for Air, room 66 for Analog. I mean, here's what I gotta say. I think Air is playing incredibly well, but Analog right now on this run is having an incredibly good run under pressure. So here we go. How is Air going to approach this? Is he just going to go down? Okay, so he is taking this bottom route instead of wall jumping up the left. And, oh, gotta be careful. Is going to lay that power bomb. I don't know if he was able to kill the fish. And he's gonna get another power bomb right here. So, okay, these two power bombs net him a good amount of points. Those ouches on the ground give 1,000 points each. So, uses the power bombs for the points and heads to the bottom instead of deciding to wall jump up to the top. So, good strategy by Air, I like it. And here we go. Analog's gotta be really careful. Room 71 at this point, but no reserve. Still doesn't have Varia suit or anything like that. Oh, a reserve for Analog. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? He has 37 seconds left. Does he go for this? He's got 9,550 points. So if he gets 500 more points, that will give him another 30 seconds. He's out of here. He decided, you know what? I'm stuck in the sand. I don't have much time. I just gotta go. Because this room transition gives him 500 points and he's gonna get 30 seconds on the clock. But he doesn't want to time out going for the potential, if he doesn't get the break free quick enough, he might time out. And that's why he decided to go. So here we go. 46 seconds left on the clock. I mean, he's got to go at this point. 74, make the last of it count on the 2x multiplier. Air in a difficult room. Watch out for the pancakes. Watch out for the pancakes. And no. Oh, double KO. A double KO. Air taking a death and Analog taking a death at room 74. So 47 for Air. 47 for Air and 74 for Analog. Let's get that audio over to Air now. Wow. So here we go. The current score now is, oh my goodness. It is 174 for Analog, 174 for Analog, and 105 for Air. That run by Analog was completely out of control. And that's one of the issues that happened there, because the 2x multiplier is just so powerful. It's so powerful. Now, this could all change in an instant. It could all change in an instant, right? Because in the final run of it, Analog can absolutely, if Analog takes an early death and Air cooks on these next few runs, that can be the difference. That can be the difference. But Analog basically getting a near PB on that run has given him an immense lead. So very well played by Analog. However, not really being rewarded. Immediately, the life is sort of balancing itself out a little bit. Analog getting a quite difficult room that's quite slow at this point, and Air has an early spacer beam. So very well played so far by both players. However, Air's run is currently looking a little bit better. I got something wrong. Was that Analog's second run? Was that Analog's second run? If that was Analog's second run, I knew something was off too. if that was analog second run, what that means is it is 128 to 105. And that makes more sense because I got a little confused. I thought analog was a little bit too far ahead right there. And here we go. It's 128 to 105. 128 to 105, and both players are starting anew on this run. Air with the better start, a little bit ahead at room 13, gets that BT, but has Spazer. Sorry about the miscalculation. I accidentally was looking at Analog's, I typed in Analog's score in the calculator to make sure that he, to see where he was, and then I thought that was an actual run that he did, but that was the same run that he did, so I gave him an additional 43 room run by accident, and so this makes a lot of sense. 128 to 105. Absolutely insane. We have 10 minutes and 50 seconds left. And this is going to be... This is looking like it's coming down to the final run. Now, here's an interesting thing that's happening, right? If they get into a situation where they lose a lot of time, and they have like a minute left on the clock, they may want to consider resetting and starting over, because they will get to finish out their final run. And if they just don't have the time left to do another, the run is about to end, it may be better to reset that run immediately so they can get another run to really maximize the time. That is one of the little metagamey things that we can do in a situation where the last run does count. So it often comes down to that. We'll see how it comes out, but Air has a lot of work to do because he is currently 23 points behind Analog. All right, Air grabbing that secret and heading down. Now, this is a tricky room. There's fish right down there trying to get you, and Air sees the fish and is able to get through just fine. So there we go. Well played by Air. 9 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Keep in mind, the Gamba, we got 34,000 on Air on this previous one and 29,000 on Analog. So, lot of fans for both players. Lots of points on the line. Air using that run button, dashing over to the right, and grabs that speed booster. Will he grab the secret? Yep, grabs that quick secret. And 33 HP, so Air's gotta be a little bit careful. Now at the next room multiplier. Ooh, don't wanna touch those violas down there. And here we go. So Analog at room 24. And Air falling on the crab shaft. Will Analog get the supers? Ooh, Analog kind of taking his time shooting the atomic out, a little bit slow with the ice beam, so probably not time neutral at least. And Analog, ooh, tried to do something a little bit fancy, just running through those fire fleas. The funny thing is ooh. Okay, so here we go. Air with the plasma beam. Air with the plasma beam. He's got high jump, he's got speed booster. So let's see how he approaches this room. That pirate jumped to the right, so Air's gotta be careful. Completely fine, makes it through. How is Air going to get out of here? Is he going to, a running jump. A running jump. Look at that. I like Air's play. Air has his own strategies to get through these rooms. I was wondering if he's gonna do the tricky wall jump or if he was gonna do a short charge. However, a running jump with speed high booster, he checked his equipment. He checked his equipment and was like, I can do this with the running jump. Does it, makes it through. Very well played. I really, really like it. Air's coming in with his own strategies for Arcade Showdown, prepped to take down Analog. He's a little bit behind, but with this plasma beam, maybe we can see him cook and make this run count. I didn't know you could do that with speed and high jump either. All right, did Analog get the damage list? Wow, no damage for Analog, so that's good for a bunch of points as well. Gets that plus 40 on the clock, and Air is heading down. Room 31. Oh, Air took a hit right there. Be a little bit careful, please, Air. 15 HP. Pretty much anything's gonna kill him at this point. And Analog, ooh, just ran through and makes it through. Ooh, nice energy tank for Air. That means very small and weak enemies probably won't kill him at this point, but it is now room 30, so gotta be a little bit careful. Another bad room for Air. He's at the 2x multiplier. Can he get through it? He doesn't have wave beam, so how's he gonna do this? He's gonna have to bait this fly out. He's gotta bait the fly out. Oh, kills it. Can he get the next one? Can he kill the next one? The rising water. Oh, ouch. Okay, gotta be careful. Took a risk, jumps through. He's gotta down grab it. Oh, spin jumps up there. Spin jumping so he gets the smaller hitbox to reach the ledge. Wow, well played by Air. He needed to keep that. He's at room 30, the 2x multiplier. He has to keep it if he wants to keep up with Analog, especially given the fact that he's got this charge beam, or the plasma beam that's so powerful. He needs to make use of this if he can. So Air's gonna head over to the right, probably gonna grab that secret up there worth a lot of points, and Analog gets a bad room. He gets the gauntlet, has one set of power bombs to kind of get through this room a little bit quicker, got a little bit scared by the yapping maw, probably gonna grab this health, and Analog is going to, with the ice beam, is going to, ooh, Air was a little bit careful. He's gotta not clip the ledge. Very well played. So far very well played by both players, and Air dodging that crab, and Analog getting through the gauntlet a little bit slow, but doesn't want to die when there is the 2x multiplier, and Air gets that wave beam. So his beam, basically the most powerful beam you can get right now. Air can clean everything up, and unfortunately gets charged right now. So this is not really the room that you want to get, especially from the top when it's a little so. Oh my gosh, Air almost ran into that hopper. I got a little bit scared right there. Analog, a little bit confused on how to approach this. That top block is kind of throwing him off a little bit. And Air is going to grab the missiles and head down. The plasma is ticking away. We're at halfway down the plasma, and Air, ooh. So unfortunately tried to get the little ball to the top. Both players in the same room right now, but Air with the high jump boots skyrocketed a little bit too high and bonked his head. And you could see Air with the plasma was able to get through this room quickly, but Analog has to take his time a little bit more. Meanwhile, we have about a minute left for both players. They're basically in sync because Analog has a little bit more time, but he's a little bit further behind on the clock as well. Meanwhile, Air is only 1,500 points away from the next bonus. After killing these key hunters, he's almost certainly gonna get it. These key hunters are gonna go down quick with this beam combo. So bam, 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 plus 40 on the clock. And we have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left for both players. Air gets Fantoon, resets, immediately hits that reset, decides, you know what, that's not worth doing. Someone's gonna have to tell me how many points he had right there. But Air makes a tactical reset to get through, and we are going to switch that audio over to Analog. All right, so Analog is in a kind of a tricky situation right now because he's got very little time at this point. I believe Air actually timed out at room 37, so there we go. We're gonna give Air the points for room 37, and that means he is good for, let's get that in here, score right. He is now at 139 points. Meanwhile, we have Analog, just was able to get that bonus at room 40, so cooking up another good run. And it's looking really good for Analog because he may time out before the timer actually runs out, and he may be able to get another run in. So there's some serious decisions that Analog might have to make. If he keeps cooking and picking up more time, he may want to consider actually resetting the run. All right, so here we go. We have Analog, 15 seconds left. Oh, just has to get through. And I think Analog wants to stretch this one as long as he can because the next run is almost certainly the last one, and Analog now takes the death. He takes the death at room 42, and that means he is now at a grand total of 172 points. 172 points. A new run started for Analog, and Air is going to, at this point, he's going to try to finish out this run. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. There are some serious considerations that could be made. Potentially tactical resets if Analog gets really bad rooms, because this is going to be the last one. Air takes the death, but that's completely fine, because in the end, that run was likely going to be his last run. So, dies at room 9, that is not good for any points, but can still start a new run. So here we go. This is pretty much it. Air is behind. What has to happen here is Error needs to get a solid run in, and he might have to rely a little bit on luck. He might have to rely on Analog maybe not doing so well, maybe taking a relatively early death. That's kind of what has to happen here because Analog really popped off and had a few really, really big runs, notably the 74-point run. All right, so here we go. Analog heading down, Error going ahead and shooting out Bomb Chorizo. We still have a minute and 20 seconds left, but after that timer goes out, basically what this means is if Error takes a death, that is game 1 for Analog. All right, so Error goes ahead and gets that no damage, and Analog jumps up the door and gets a sick grab jump into that room. That's some Matt Brando tech right there. Shoutouts to Matt Brando. I think Analog's probably a little bit confused because it's probably not something that happens very often, but runs over to the right and makes it through. And another tricky room for Error. Is he going to... How is he going to approach this? He only has this 35 seconds left to do another run. Oh, goes up the right side. Goes up the right side. He's gonna run off. Wow. Okay, very well played by Error. Makes it through there and decides I'm gonna keep this run. Jumps over the crab with 20 seconds left on the clock. 20 seconds left on the clock. We are getting very close to the final run for both players. The timer is now ticking down. And this is it. This is it. The timer is now over. This is the final run for both players. Analog picks up that Spazer Beam, looking really good for Analog, and Error gets that Morph Beam. Analog also gets the Morph Beam. However, we are in a better situation for Analog because he does have the better beam. With that Spazer Beam, if Error takes a death at any moment right now, the game is over and game 1 goes to Analog. I think what we need to do right now is switch the audio over to Error, because Error's run is the one that matters right now. He is the one, and he gets the plasma beam, looks at his loadout, sees the high jump. Can Error do this? He has to either bomb jump out or do a tricky wall jump along the right. I believe Error should be able to do this wall jump along the right because he can do this smooth in Green Hill Zone. And so as long as he kind of can figure out where to jump, Analog meanwhile takes a Vile Plume death, he's got to go a little bit lower on that wall jump. His wall jump is currently a little bit too high. Error needs to get out of this in a timely manner. Oh, that was it, but he missed it. Ooh, Error's gotta get this one. That was close. That was really close. Can he get it? The wall jump, oh, the wall jump needs to be a slightly delayed. It's a tricky wall jump. Analog gets a really bad room. Analog takes the death. So Analog takes the death and we're on Error. The onus is on Error to win right now. Room 20 for Analog. That means he's good. The final score for Analog is now 182. But Error has to get this high jump. This is a tricky wall jump. It's if you run the Fantune first any percent room, this is one of the trickier jumps to learn in the game. Error did have the wall jump attempt earlier, but he didn't quite get it. He's got to look at the visual cues and figure out something for himself. He has to delay the wall jump slightly. It can't be a quick wall jump off the wall. It's kind of like the smooth. Oh, can he get it? Can he get it? If not, he could consider trying to do an infinity bomb jump. Oh, he's getting so close. He's getting so close. He's going for the IBJ. He's going for the IBJ. Okay, so here we go. Oh, so close to starting it. Oh no, can't even get it. We have seen this room claim the runs of previous players. Oh, the bomb just has to be a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. Oh no. A little bit higher for Error. Still a little bit higher. Come on, can he get this bomb jump? Just slightly lower than that. Oh, minute left on the clock. That's good. That's good. Oh no, but the subsequent bombs are to get it start off to get it started is a little bit tricky, but 50 seconds left. And that's it. Error calls GG. I think he probably hasn't practiced getting out of this room. The wall jump being so close. I mean, we'll see. We'll let him time it out. Let's see if he can get through. But it looks like this is a room that he did not kind of come ready with the strats. And that is it. Error timing out on that final room. And that is GG to Error. Analog taking game 1. 182 to 140. Analog currently up 1-0, looking to win the next game, but Error definitely looking to keep this to a game 3. So here we go, countdown 10, boom. Good luck, runners. And we're off. Off to the races, the day at the races. Error versus Analog. Analog taking game 1 with a strong showing, pretty much carried by his gigantic 70+ run on the previous one. But we have both players starting, going for that CWJ. Analog usually gives it a few tries and then just goes through the door. Yes, two back and forth. And we have Error getting that CWJ, so that's good for 5,000 points. And immediately getting the bombs for Analog. Meanwhile, Error immediately rewarded with some supers. And there we go. Error, actually, that is a moonfall. Moonfalls can be done without spin jumping. So Error flies down that shaft quickly. So very well played. We have Analog getting a little bit close to Bomb Chorizo there. Ooh, a little bit close, but that's completely fine. And Error is going to have to use the super that he has to get through this gate. Ooh, a little bit far to the right. That was kind of close. Error could have potentially lost it, but recovers the super immediately from the bug, grabs the secret, and is heading down to the right. Meanwhile, we have Analog heading over to the left, is going to grab the secret and grabs a super for himself. So both players starting out with the super can be very valuable. And a tricky room for both players. We have Analog with the, I believe it's called the Cassius room, heading up. It's before Plasma typically. And we have Error going through Pancakes and Waivers, is going to have to go ahead and kill the Pancakes to get through. Gotta be a little bit careful. Those guys hit a lot. They're called Choots. Fun facts, those Pancakes are called Choots. C-H-O-O-T, Choot. Very cute name. All right, so we have Morph for Error. Was that a CWJ off of that little face guy? That was crazy. Like, you see him, he was all mad, right? Because Error got that wall jump. That was pretty sick. All right, so we got high jump for Analog. Breaking spin right there. You can see Analog kind of twirled back to the left. Got a little bit of snapback right there. And we have Error heading over down the Forgotten Highway. Oh, I love that from Error. Every time Error enters this room, his approach is to immediately spin jump to the right. That's the beauty of Error's play. I've said this so many times before, right? But Error pretty much has a strat for a lot of these rooms. Like, he knows how to get through it. A lot of people's reactions when they see the people on the right is to either like run to the left, potentially triggering the other, ooh, this is a difficult room for Error, but potentially triggering the other pirates. But Error knows to jump over that guy. And how is he gonna get through this? How is he gonna get through this? I don't know if Error is going to survive. Oh, now there's 2 on him. Okay, so that's gonna be a death. No points gained at this point. However, it's fine. It's early in the match. Error takes that death in room 9, and we have Analog continuing onwards through these slow water rooms, and it's heading to the right. And the first points of the game go to Analog, now at room 13. So 3 points currently built up for Analog. Finally gets that morph. Now Error heading over to the right. Is gonna try to get that quick CWJ, gets it second try, very well played by Error. And we have Analog heading to the right with his morph. He's going to go ahead and take that up door. What's up door? And it's going to head to the right, try to see if he can pick up some beams. A pretty bad room for Error at the beginning. However, you do get rewarded with power bombs, and he seems to know how to get through this room just fine. So here we go. Ooh, Analog does not have speed booster. How is he gonna get through here? Because it's not trivial. It is not trivial. Ooh, is gonna unequip the high jump boots. That's a smart play. Ooh, Air almost took a death there. Oh, Air's gonna jump out, takes another death. Unfortunately, lands in the acid, and the hitbox was too wide. But Analog having some trouble himself. He's at room 13, but this is not trivial. Typically, you want to see that you have speed booster and you could just spark across. But these jumps, if anyone has seen the Metroid Construction review page for Arcade, you will see that there is a 1-star review left by a user because they were playing on the easiest mode and they got soft locked in this room. So it's not trivial. You're kind of expected to have grapple, but Analog makes it through there, albeit lost a little bit of time, but makes it through, so maintains those points. Meanwhile, Air is looking to still gain his first points of this game. All right, so Analog, ooh, break and spin right there. Oh, that's why you gotta play on keyboard or hitbox. There we go. Okay, well that's not really a break spin. It's more so that Analog is trying to jump and press right in the same frame, so is not able to get that spin jump right off the back. So that's not a controller thing. But either way, Analog having some trouble, losing a little bit of time, and Air does not get that smooth bonus. Completely fine. But you know, things like that, if they're typical tricks that you normally get and you mess them up, that might kind of rattle you. So I don't know if Air is, you know, feeling any nerves in this situation. Sorry for that. Excuse me. But nerves, especially when you're in a match, even though this is all for fun and it's a fun show match, you realize when you're in a game, when you're in a serious match, people are watching, people have points on you, people are gambling on you, and you know this. The nerves are a very real thing. Even if you know you're not putting like any money on the line or anything like that, you kind of don't want to let the people down, right? So if tricks that you normally get, you're not nailing them, that can rattle you a little bit. I'm not saying that's the case for Air, but definitely nerves can be an all-time high, especially when the match can be close. Here we go, Air with that Ice Beam. Ice Beam is nice for this fight. Oh, Analog having a little bit of trouble getting through this. If he wants to, he could unequip high jump boots, but he's losing a lot of time. He's only got 30 seconds left. He can't, he's not able to get the jump. He's not able to get the jump. He's got to hit jump twice. He's got to unequip the high jump boots. He's at 9,300 points, so is likely going to be able to get through this room. He needs to kill one of these worms. He needs to kill a worm, and he has to remember to equip. He has to remember to re-equip the high jump boots. Oh, Analog takes the death. Analog takes the death. So, Air already at room 12, gaining points at this point, but Analog not able to get a 2x multiplier, only at room 21. That means he only gets 11 points for this. So, even though Air had a little bit of a rough start, Air is now gaining points at room 13. Analog didn't gain that many points from that previous one, and Air has a reserve tank and 2 missiles to boot. So the pressure is on for Analog because this is a really good, this is looking to be shaping up to be really good. I may have commentator's curse. That was a commentator's curse. We're in a bad situation for Analog. Okay, Air can get through this. Air can get through this. He's got a power bomb. The power bomb can kill the next few flies as long as he lays them in a correct spot. He's gonna have to do some tricky wall jumps, but that's gonna be a good... Oh my gosh, Air almost took a death right there. He almost took a death right there. The power bomb explosion just barely killing the ouch before Air landed on it. So here's the thing. We're gonna have to switch our audio over to Air at this point, but Air is gonna hold left. It's a simple thing, but when you're under pressure, small mistakes can happen. But what Air probably wants to do is fill that reserve back up and make this run count, because he's got plenty of time. He's got 3 minutes still left on the clock. Taking a hit right now is not that big of a deal against these monsters. They're in the beginning of the game. They don't hurt that much. Only 1 level of multiplier, so he's fine. However, if he gets some dangerous rooms, he will die in 1 shot, and he really wants to get that reserve filled up again. All he needs is 25 HP. A small health and a big health. Will he go for kill the Kagos? No, he is not going to kill the Kago. He's just going to head forward. The Kagos can give him the health back, but it does take a lot of time. Meanwhile, BT is Analog makes short work of BT there, and here we go. Air is now going to farm these pirates. If he can get hooked up with the big health, that will fill up his reserve. There we go. The reserve is now filled up for Air. All you need is 1 HP on that reserve to kind of give you that extra life. So Air makes it through, is now at room 20, gets a free super pack. However, is going to have to wall jump up to the top. So let's see if Air can make it up there. It's a little bit slow without that speed booster. This room can give you a lot if you can do a really tight short charge and spark up, but I don't think Air would go for that if he had the speed booster anyway. So here we go. Air's gonna grab a quick farm and head to the left. Meanwhile, Analog also grabbing a quick farm and heading back to the left as well. So a tough room for Analog. Wow, quick reactions, 3 shots clearly to take out the fly. But how is Analog going to do the next run? Does he have the high jump boots? If he has the high jump boots, he can just straight up. He does not have the high jump boots. So how is he gonna do this? How is he gonna do this? There's 3 flies. 1 is directly to his left and 2 are on the top left. He's gonna have to bait them out. And how is he gonna? He baits out the first one. There's 2 more. One's gonna come from the left as well. Baits out the second. Oh my gosh, crouches and dodges the left fly. So makes it through, and that was nerve-wracking, but makes it through and continues the run, is finally gaining points at this point. And Air at room 22, now room 23, with the reserve is looking really good. Oh, he quickly takes out the missiles because the DPS on the beam is just not that great. Air is going to crouch forward. That's a little dangerous. Okay, wow, okay. Very, very well played. I like that. So what ended up happening right there, Air just ran forward, said, you know what? I have the reserve. Let's just barrel through. Takes a hit from the little fly. The little hopper would have absolutely killed Air's reserve right there, but because he took a hit from the fly, it does a lot less damage, didn't pop the reserve, and Air now has that Various suit, and he is not equipped for some of these difficult LN rooms. So will the game treat him nicely, or will the game punish him and give him some difficult rooms? Gets the grapple, so now Dragon is potentially on the table. Lots of scary things can happen, but this is a free room. Just heading over to the right, and we have Deja Vu for BT for Analog fighting another BT. Air getting very close to the 2x multiplier. Now at room 29, and is going to quickly go ahead and kill these flies to get the drops and 250 points each. Killing all the flies in this room nets you 3,000 points total. There's a lot of flies in here, and he does it. All right, so free super for Analog. And a bad room for Air. Can he do it? It's the 2x multiplier. Analog takes a death. Analog takes a death. That is only 8 points for Analog. Air has a reserve. Air has a reserve. If he cannot do this, but he just flies through, takes a hit. Oh, has the Various suit too. Has the Various suit, so it didn't drop the reserve yet. Didn't drop the reserve. Spams the grapple, gets through, doesn't pop the reserve. Wow, well played by Air. Well played by Air. Oh, a tough room for Air. He has the ice beam. He could freeze all these things. Air is getting tough room after tough room. Oh, 27 HP. He's bleeding out. He is bleeding out. Analog with 19 points total, but Air, he's in the acid. Watch out. I think he maybe just want to lay a power bomb or something right here. Watch out, here it comes. No, and Air takes the hit. That's a difficult room to get through, especially when everything is just shooting you. But Air does at least bank 1 point from the 2x multiplier, and that means Air is good for 22 points. These seeds have not been good for both players, but Air is now ahead by 3 points, and Analog has basically just started a seed. So we're effectively tied at this point. Analog maybe... No, I mean, we're effectively tied at this point, I would say. So here we go. Air is going to go ahead and grab that CWJ. We're going to switch the audio over to Analog. Analog immediately getting another tough room. Room for Leodox. That's not what you want to see. But Air gets the immediate speed booster. Immediate speed boosters. That's always a good item to get in arcade. Air immediately leaving upon seeing that a speed booster plus an E-tank. Speed booster plus E-tank looking really good. Analog, will he be able to get the damage list? Ooh, just gotta jump over the last pirate, makes it through damages. That's good for 5,000 points. Very well played by Analog. All right, so we're gonna see Analog quickly grab the secret on the left. We're gonna see Air head over to the right. And Analog also rewarded his efforts getting through that Leodox room and other rooms have been rewarded by the speed booster. We have Error having to do the bomb to Rizzo right now. We've seen Analog already do this, so this is a little bit of a real time loss. But you have to do it. Everyone pretty much will find bomb to Rizzo at one point or another. So here we go. Ice beam for Analog. We have Error in the safe spot, going ahead, and Analog is deciding, no, I don't want to kill. I don't want to waste my time killing these flies. Let's just go ahead and go. However, with 45 HP, he has to be a little bit careful. Like if this fly hits him, he's gonna be his health is gonna be kind of in dire straits, but makes it through. Analog now finally gaining points. 1 point on the board for Analog. Only a 3-point difference between both of these players. Very evenly matched. Error killing a few of the Violas on the way down to head through that down door. Error's gonna jump up and grab the secret and head to the right. And Analog is rewarded with that wave beam. So things now looking really good for Analog. And Error gets the not as great beam, the ice beam, not really doing much for you. Analog already does have it, but ice doesn't help too much. Ice does help in this room. The extra DPS is nice in this situation. Both these players synced up in the same room. However, you can see Analog with a better beam making short work of the pancakes very quickly. That being said, Error does have the extra E-Tank, which is always good, and Error gets the high jump boots. Now keep in mind, one of the problems with the high jumps we'll see is, oh no, Error does actually have that speed booster. I was gonna say, all right, well, Error now gets that wave beam, so good beam for both players so far. Heading to the right. And Analog now gets, or Error gets the space jump. Now, space jump in arcade, it sucks. It gives you X-ray haul. Not only does it give you X-ray, oh my gosh, Error takes a big hit from that boulder. It gives you X-ray haul, and it gives you Coliseum, and it gives you East Ocean. It gives you so many bad rooms. I think space jump is literally like, I wouldn't take it if I had the option. So it's one of those things that's a little bit unfortunate. I almost think that if you're playing a regular game, it might be worth timing it out if you got into a boss room. That's kind of how bad space jump is. Just unlock some bad rooms that are slow and dangerous. But meanwhile, we have Error kind of getting through this room, decides not to get that. I don't even know if he even has morph, but chooses not to get that super if he didn't have morph. Meanwhile, we have Analog going through this crab room with the beam that he has right now. It's going to be fine. And Error is going to do a little moonfall right here. Nice moonfall from Error, and he's gonna get rewarded with a free super missile. We have both players looking like they're trying to prioritize those right doors when they can. And I'm gonna grab this quick farm and head out. And Error does not want the missiles on the bottom. And Analog gets hit, gets the Swiss cheese room, so takes the hit. Error is completely equipped to get through the plasma room. So in a crazy turn of events, just like that, Error is in such a good spot. An incredibly good. Error is about to get hyper beam. That's what's about to happen right now. He's got the space jump. He's got the plasma. But Analog dying at room 22 is good for 12 points, and that means Analog is now at 31 points. But this is looking really good for Error. He's gonna want to make this count if he can. Error is lucky that he has the space jump, because this is in logic with the grapple beam. Now he's got to be a little bit careful. If the Metroid, he's got to be careful here. Don't spin. Get out. Okay, so I don't know if he knows exactly the tech. Okay, so he's got to swing up there. I think there's a Metroid waiting for him, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Don't want to turn in the sand. If you turn in the sand, that can be lights out. That can be lights out. The Metroid is probably making him a little bit nervous. Oh, he turned in the sand. He turned in the sand. And that's it. That's it. That's it for Error's run right there. Dying at room 22. So K goes the sand, you sink in, and it is so hard to get out of there. So dying at room 23, that's good for 13 points. And that is basically like a score reset. It is now 31 to 35. And we'll get the audio back on Analog. So it's a neck and neck. It's neck and neck, basically. It's neck and neck. Analog is already ahead at room 10. However, Error is ahead by 4 points. Error getting that first try CWJ. 26 minutes left on the clock for both players to rack up points. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Error gets that smooth bonus. Nice little way to approach that. He does a little wall jump and then hugs the left side to grab the smooth. More for Error. Heading over to the right. And we have Analog making short work of this bomb chorizo. All right, so here we go. We have Error heading over to the right. Analog heading over to the left. What will be the next item that both of these players get? You can see Error prioritizing these right doors when he can, and is rewarded with the wave beam. So things looking once again really good for Error. Analog getting a few slow rooms. Heading over to that right room, and look at the difference. Error with this wave beam. Oh, and Analog gets rewarded with the wave beam. So, I mean, dead even match basically. Error once again ahead by a few points, but Analog already at room 15, so that's 5 points for him. Analog in theory ahead right now, so this is looking really close. What does the game have in store for both of these players? Right now we're going through some pretty simple rooms, and both players have good beams. And by good beam, I mean they both have wave beam, which is pretty much the ideal beam. Look at that with the crouching shot. Ooh, Analog, what are you gonna do? Watch out, there's some crabs coming. Are you gonna go out the left? Are you gonna prioritize the right? There's a crab coming up on the left as well. He is safe, and he's gonna jump through because he wants to take that right door. Meanwhile, we have a tough room for Error. Lots of dangerous crabs and fish that are trying to basically one-shot you, and speed booster for Analog. Very good find for Analog. So right now things looking quite good for Analog. Error makes that jump. It's always a little bit of a risky jump because if you don't make the jump, but tough room for Analog. Ooh, takes damage. Wait, the pirate's not in a good spot for Analog. Analog's gotta be careful. Lost the damageless bonus, and Analog is taking a lot of damage. How is he gonna approach this? The pirate's hopping back and forth. Okay, that wall jump was a little bit risky, but Analog makes it through. Error grabs the speed booster. Oh, that moonfall. I wasn't sure what the situation was going on with that right pirate, but looks like a little bit of nerves for Error kicking in right now, messing up some rooms that he might not normally mess up. Meanwhile, Error is able to get some of that health back, so Analog takes another hit. Analog, get out of here. 3 HP, nothing. Analog can basically not touch anything at this point. Everything in this game will basically kill Analog, the spikes included. Gotta be careful. Analog's not gonna risk it. He's just gonna go ahead and kill this pirate. At room 22, he's gotta figure out a way to get some health back because it's not looking too healthy right now. Ooh, a little bit of a tricky room. He cannot kill the gamers, so he's gotta make sure that the gamers don't touch him. Ooh, gotta squeeze under. He's got some health back. He might be able to survive a gamer hit at this point. And okay, I think Analog is probably feeling a little bit better now, a little bit less stressed, not hearing the incessant beepings of Super Metroid when you have low HP. And Analog finally getting that morph. Meanwhile, we have Error. Oh my gosh, he just plummeted to the bottom, and he's probably in uncharted territory at this point. So Error trying to reach up. I think Error just wants to kill everything potentially. But okay, he's back in book. No, he's not. He is not back in book. At room 17, I think he's just got to jump down and kill things. No, takes the death. That's what happens when you get into the Leodox room and everything starts going wrong. You can just die, and that is what happened. Error gets 7 points for that, and now he is good for 42 points total. Meanwhile, I have Analog. If he wants to take the lead at this point and put a good lead between him and Error, he is going to go ahead and make this run count. He's getting close to that 30 room multiplier, the 2x multiplier, and he's gonna grab that secret and head over to that right door. 22 minutes left on the clock, 4 runs, and Analog gets that charge beam. Bosses are now on the table if he takes the right doors, Kraid and Fantoon. Error is going to head over, kill all the flies, and head over to the right door. Analog with the charge beam had the option to go to the right door, but chooses the left door now because his beam is good. He's got that speed booster and does not want to be fighting Fantoon at this point. Kraid maybe is okay, probably not the best, but Fantoon could obviously immediately kill this run. So Error's gonna go, or Analog is gonna go ahead and try to get this Alcatraz bonus, gets it, and Error is going to make short work of BT. Big beam combo for Analog. Now with the full PRKD beam, this is basically what Analog wants. This is the ideal situation. I kind of feel like Analog maybe should have picked up that farm as quick a quick little farm right there to top off his health, because 73 HP, there are some things that could probably kill you. Analog getting a little bit scammed, because if you do run without high jump and speed booster, you can kind of jump and then you won't get the jump height. And Analog gets a reserve take. This is huge for Analog. This is absolutely huge for Analog. He wants to make this run count if he wants to steal it for game 2. This is the run that he wants to repeat from game 1, where he gets it to 70 if he can. However, one of the issues, nice deboost from Analog. However, maybe a little bit too ambitious, because he's now the reserve almost getting popped right there, but keeps the reserve, speeds through. He only has a minute left on the clock. So this is looking a little bit, the one problem here that Analog has is just not really having that much time. However, with that secret, that does put him very close to the next room bonus. So only needs 1,000 more points to get the extra 40 seconds on the clock. Air, meanwhile, hitting room 10, now heading through that left door, is now at the point where he's going to start gaining points. So 1 point gain for Analog right there. And Analog at room 36 has already gained a bunch of points because he is at that multiplier. 40 seconds gained for Analog, and he is now taking, look at that, Analog taking that left door. Will he get the quick drop? This is good for 40 seconds if he can get it. Oh, he gets the quick drop. That's immediate 40 seconds. So with the reserve, that was really, really clutch for Analog to get. Really, really clutch. So well played by Analog, and he wants to make this run count. He wants to make it count. Air, meanwhile, has to choose a left door, decides to go to the bottom left door here. But he has 3 minutes and 32 seconds to work with. And a good beam. Oh, Analog gets hit. Analog gets hit. He has seen this room so many times today. Can he get through it again? He has the power bomb. He will probably want to lay the power bomb because it'll take care of all the flies, and it will kill all the ouches on the ground, along the ground right there, and that is a good way to take care of this room. Oh, takes a fall right there, so losing some of this time. He doesn't have that much time to work with. Get that wall jump, Analog. Here we go. What will Analog get? He has the ice beam, so he can go ahead and freeze it. Oh, chooses not to do it. I think he might have wanted to consider grabbing those E-tanks. Each of those B-toms give you a decent amount of points, so it was something to consider. But here we go. We have Air getting a super missile, but it has to wall jump up, so a little bit of a time loss for him. And we have Analog wall jumping and taking that left door. So Analog on a really good run so far, but the reserve is down. The reserve is down. We have Air wall jumping up to the top. And Analog has to be a little bit careful. There's some hoppers and waivers up there. Watch out. 2 of those waivers are global. 1 moves up on the cameras there, and if he just spams beam shots, he should be fine. Ooh, you can see he got a little bit nervous right there. That hopper went at him so quickly, he flinched. He turned right for a second. Is he gonna go for the missile, or is he just gonna get out of here? Analog is going to refill some of his health, but the bug is just giving small health. If he's only getting small health, it's gonna take so long. Okay, 1 more small health should do it, and that's it. So Analog's reserve is now back online, has the free hit, and gets rewarded with some free power bombs. That's really looking really good for him. Air, meanwhile, cooking up a good run at room 21 now. Analog getting another E-tank. Ooh, took a hit right there. Oh, Analog taking a beating. Got nervous on the last one and got punished because the guy ended up stopping him. All right, so got a speed booster. Ooh, that was very sketchy play. Oh, Analog getting a little jumbled up, shot a super into the wall, but that's okay because the crate drop came in clutch, refilling that super, and Air not taking any chances going through that door, letting that crab hit him. And Analog storing a spark for the next room. Oh, he can get it up the shaft. Oh, that would have been good for 5,000 points. Will Analog go for the short charge here, or will he not? Let's see. Is it something that he's practiced? He's going for it. Can he get it? It's a tight short charge, and he gives it 1 shot and says, no, I'm not gonna go for it. Gotta be careful. This is a very good room for Analog as long as you lay the power bomb. This is a good run for Analog, but he is running a little bit short on time. He gets 30 seconds for his troubles. However, is still a little bit short on time. So will Analog cook up another very strong run? Room 52. This is already looking really strong, but can he get another one of those 70 runs, the 70 bombs to complete out and close out game 2 potentially? 16 minutes left on the clock. We have Error heading over. He's just gonna go take that right door. Error is on a good run as well, but he needs, this is a situation where Error needs to actually make this run count, because having a few decent good runs, it might not be good enough if Analog continues onward and has a very, very strong run right here. All right, so we have Error heading to the right door. We have Analog heading to the left. Gotta be a little bit careful here. Analog has 8 power bombs. 8 power bombs. That's actually insane. He can take some of these, but he can't. He can't take these rooms slowly because he has 30 seconds left on the clock. Even though he's so loaded, he's not even that close to getting another 30-second boost on the time. So Analog, honestly, at this point, he just needs to go. He just needs to go, and if his reserve pops, so be it. He just has to make this run count, get as many rooms as possible. I think he has to not worry too much about getting killed at this point, because he's about to time out. He is about to time out. Analog quickly building a bunch of points. Yeah, don't even get those missiles. Just go. Just go. You have 15 seconds left on the clock. Analog getting so many free rooms right now. He's getting so many free rooms. Oh, he flipped out. Oh, the reserve popped. He's got 1 HP. He had 1 HP in the reserve. And no, he can go. Analog run. Analog run. Get the secret. Get the secret. And he is not going to be able to do it in time. Takes the death. Dies at room 62. At room 62. That is good for 84 points, putting him at 115 points. And Error, he's at room 40 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. That's really good. He doesn't have the reserve, but he's a little bit healthy at this point. What will happen for Error? What will happen? Error found a reserve. Can he get the break free? Can he get the break free? No, it looks like this is a room that Error has not practiced. The break free is tricky. So Error is passing up on the reserve, and he's just gonna go ahead and go to the climb. Now here's the thing. Let's see if Error can get, he's trying to get the moonfall. Doesn't quite get the moonfall. However, he is going to probably get the cleanser and get the speed booster up. Ooh, almost took a hit right there. Let's get the audio back on Error at this point. So Error is gonna bomb out the wall, and watch this. You're gonna see him gain a quick 40 seconds on the clock. Watch this. Oh, he's not quite getting the charge. I think it might just be a one tap, but as long as he can get the one tap. Okay, that's good. And bam, 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 bam. Cleanser plus up the shaft. 40 seconds for Error right there. So that's good. He's gonna moonfall down here, and he's gonna try to get out one of these doors on the right. And there we go. He's out the right door. He is 6,000 points away from another 40 seconds as well. And he can do it. He can do it. There's 1,000 points here. This secret's worth quite a lot, and he's gonna go ahead and super this pirate, steal his secret, kill the pirate and take his secret. So rude. And that's another 40 seconds for Error. So Error cooking up a good run right here. He's got to make this one count. Speed boost and throw those pirates, 1,000 points each. And punished with the bad room. Error's got to be careful. Oh my gosh, you do not want to run into those worms right now. Error, please be careful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now has to jump, get this morph. Now he's got to do a series of quick jump morphs. We've seen Analog struggle with this before. Can Error do it? Oh, Error's having some trouble. If you, one of the easier ways to get through this room is to unequip high jump boots. If you're crouched, you don't want to jump. You want to do a standing jump, and Error resets. Error resets. It looks like that's a room that Error has trouble doing, and it's understandable because honestly, it's tough to get through that room. But Error takes that reset, and unfortunately, that even though that was looking like a good run, he has to call it quits on that room right there. So here we go. Error ended that room at room 44. So that means Error gained, at that point, he has gained 48 points, which puts him at 90 points. 90 points. So he is not that far off of Analog. One solid run from Error, a decent run, doesn't even have to be great, but a decent run by Error and a flub from Analog basically would flip this around completely. We have Error making short work of Bomb Torizo. And we have Analog grabbing that secret and heading out the right door. 11 minutes left on the clock. 11 minutes left on the clock, and Analog is currently in the lead. Analog gets X-Ray Hall. Analog gets X-Ray Hall. The waivers should not kill him. And with only 2 multipliers, the waivers probably won't hurt. Only doing 30 damage. You don't want to touch the spikes. The spikes at this point hit for 60, so a spike hit. Okay, now he should be safe. But if he struggles on the spikes, that's lights out. Ooh, get back on the platforms. Oh, just barely makes it, and Analog gets through X-Ray Hall. Very well played, but he's gotta get through the crab shaft. Analog waits for the crab. Waits for the crab. Gets a cheeky kill right there. Oh. Oh. Where's the crab? Oh my gosh, almost a hit right there. Analog makes it through. Very well played. I like the patience on Analog, not rushing it. Pulls out the grapple, knowing that the grapple would one-shot the crab because he had no other way to immediately make short work of the crabs. Oh, Error flew down that hole like pretty quickly, but was able to recover and is going to head down. All right, so here we go. Morph for Analog. One step closer to that charge beam. And Analog attempted to do a YOLO right there, but kind of messed up a little bit. Error immediately turning around in that room. And Analog understands that the Sova is locked on the right side. He's in jail right now. Gotta go ahead and take him out so that he can get out that right door. Grabs the secret. And we have Error also finding that morph ball. So, room 26 for Analog and room 14 for Error. Analog sees the door transitions missing and immediately jumps out of the crab hole. Analog decides, oh, Analog, be careful! Analog underestimated the amount of health those pancakes have and took a hit. I thought it was gonna be game over for him, but that E-Tank saved his life. Absolutely saved his life. Now, has to get this down grab, the crouch down grab to make it through. It has to do a wall jump out of the water to clear it. So Error is going to go ahead and make short work of these hoppers and just roll to the right. That's one of the things you could see that Error kind of learned this game through arcade. Because the early Supers mock ball is something that you learn kind of often early on. So we're seeing a unique situation where Analog has learned a few of these speedrun strats. However, Error kind of picked this game up through arcade. And will he survive? Oh, very well played by Error. I really like... Wow, okay, just crouched there and made it through. I really like the way that Error is approaching this game. Analog, obviously showing a lot of his strengths right now, showing a lot of the tech that he's learned, but Error, honestly, bringing his strongest game, doing things his own way, not the way that others may necessarily tell him to do it, but bringing his own strats and making it through. Unfortunately, just had some tough breaks on certain rooms that he just didn't know the strats for, and that has kind of hurt him at this point because Analog was able to get through some of those rooms. Now, Analog has to be a little bit careful. Same room that Error had earlier is going to super the left wall, and he's going to bail out the boulder. And doing the same approach that Error had as well, right there as well. Crouching on the fune to wait for the boulder to get through. Analog has no supers, so he can't go out the right side. There is a cack there to refill his super if he had to, but without any supers, can't get out the right, and Error is going to head over to the left. Alright, so Analog running out to the left side, and a reserve for Analog! Oh my gosh, a reserve for Analog. That is huge. That is huge. Will Analog take this reserve and close out game 2? That is insanely huge for him. Error actually has gotten some reserves. However, there were reserves that he could not get because they were the break-free reserves. Oh, meanwhile, these Zeelas are kind of in some weird spots for... Error tried to jump on instinct to dodge the Zeela, but unfortunately took a spike hit, which is worth 60 damage. But yeah, the Zeela is now crawling down. That's one of the reasons why you gotta hurry. Analog, be careful. Don't take too much damage. Don't want to pop your reserve this early. 6 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock for both players. Error currently behind, has to do a little bit of catch up, and Analog ahead in a few ways, honestly, with the reserve plus the points, plus already at that 2x multiplier. But everything can change on the last runs for both these players. Analog short charge kind of falling apart a little bit here, and he's gonna spark. Oh no, bonks the wall. Analog, your time is running out. He has to get this short charge. Oh no, it's not looking good for Analog. This is what happened last time. Analog had... Okay, so now gets a few, that's good for 40 seconds. But this is what happened last time. Analog was completely decked out, loaded. However, he took too much time in some rooms and timed out. Oh, there was a pirate still alive. Analog didn't get the cleanser, so missed out on 5,000 points right there. That's kind of a big deal considering his time is getting a little bit short. Analog's got to be careful. He's going a little bit too quick. He went a little bit too quick. The reserve is popped. Analog, I think the nerves are kicking in. I think he knows this is his opportunity to clear out the game, but the reserve is popped, so he's honestly on even footing right now with Air. But Air gets the Swiss cheese room. Can he make it through? How is he gonna do it? He's got 3 missiles. He's got 3 missiles. He needs 2 of them to connect. No, takes the hit. Takes the hit. Doesn't make it through. So, dies on room 33. Gets a little bit of a multiplier, but it's not that much. That means he is good for 116 points. He is technically ahead of Analog, but Analog, if he were to reset right now, would gain so many points right now and be ahead of Air. So, here's the tricky thing. 5 minutes left on the clock. There's a decent chance that Analog is able to get another run after this. So Analog honestly is in a very good position. Air is in a tricky spot because he needs to make this run count, but at the same time, he doesn't really have that much time left to maybe start up another run after this. So Analog in a commanding position right now. Everything can change right now if Air has a really good run though, and Analog does not do well on the next run that he has. So here we go. Analog making his way through that right door. Air is making short work of BT. From Penguini because I need something to drink. Oh, Analog takes a hit from the crab. 11 HP reserve gone, but that's it. Wait, he doesn't have much time. What is he gonna do? He's gonna time out. He's gonna time out. He needs a boss. That's it. Room 44 ran out of time, doesn't even get that next room, so that's it for Analog. Room 44, that was a solid run though. That means he gains 48 points and he is good for a total of 163 points. A new run started for Analog, and we have Air getting through the Terminator. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left potentially in the arcade showdown. All right, so good start so far for Air. Gets that speed booster. And Analog, decent start for him as well. Gets an immediate E-Tank. Early E-Tank is always very comfy because there's a lot of things that will one-shot you, but with that E-Tank you're a little bit safer. 3 minutes left on the clock for the players before they cannot do any more runs. More for Air. High jump boots for Analog. We'll see how they make this one load. We'll see how they finish this one out. Alright, so Air running through that room is going to go ahead and try to grab the missiles as well as the secret. And Analog with the Ice Beam is going to kill BT just a little bit faster. That does mean if Analog gets surprised with the really bad room, because he's wasting a little bit less real time in this room, he may be able to start up again another run if he has to. Alright, so Air heading over to grab his charge beam. You can see Air wasn't holding down the run button. When he has other inputs to do, the jump, the shot and stuff like that, you can see he's not actively holding the dash to get through. But once he doesn't have to shoot anything, then he's holding the dash button. Gets that charge beam, and Analog is going to go ahead and not get the resources at this point. Quick reactions from Air. But this is a tough room. Ooh, charge shot. Wow, very well played. Is he gonna do another one? Oh, just jumps over that one. Look at the strats that Air is bringing. Angle charge shots to take out that big hopper one shot. Doesn't use a missile or anything, just does a charge shot. And then just flies and runs and jumps over that bottom hopper. Very well played. This is a room that you could easily die in if you're not careful. Now I was gonna go ahead and get that smooth bonus if you can. Very well played. 1 minute left on the clock before their final run begins, and Air is rewarded. His patient play is rewarded with that wave beam. Okay, we have Air heading up through the up door. And gets Spore Spawn. Will he do this, Spore Spawn? He resets. That was a tactical decision by Air. Smart play. We're gonna have the audio temporarily on analog right now. But Air decides, I'm not gonna do this fight, and I'm going to bank it and finish off my last run right here, right now. That means Air is now good for 120 points. Analog at 163. So, Air's run is now starting again. We are turning out to the last 10 seconds of this. It looks like Analog is going to continue this run out. Analog took a death! Wait, Analog, that's it for you! That's it! Analog dies, there's no time left on the clock! Analog, that is it for you! So we are on the final run for Air! There was no time left on the clock! And Air takes the death, or Analog takes the death! Wait, this is absolutely crazy! Hold on, where did Analog die in that one? I'm gonna have to take that clip real quick. Meanwhile, we have Air. Always gotta be careful. Don't touch the pirates, please. Analog, can you let me know which one that you got through there? What room you died? I think there was like room 17 or 18. Either way, all eyes are on Air right here. This is it. Analog died in room 19. 19. That means Analog's final score is 172. Air on his final run needs 52 points. Needs 52 points. What this means is Air needs to get to room 46 to tie. If Air is able to get to room 46, then let's go to a game 3. If Air goes to 47, then we're also going to game 3. But Air needs to get to at least room 46 to finish this off. Is that easy? No, it is not an easy task. Anything can happen in arcade. Room 46 is never guaranteed. All the Air believers, at this point, you must channel your collective energy. Get your prages in chat. Analog believers, also get your prages in chat. Oh, the crab! No! And Air takes the death. The crab. In the end, the crab takes him out, and that's GG. Oh no. GG Air. It was a good effort, but the crab wins in the end. All right, with me in the interview booth is Analog and Air. GG's to both of you. Yo, GG's Air. Well played for putting up a valiant effort. I feel like Analog played out of his mind today, but you played very strongly too. I really liked all the strategies that you're pulling out. And yeah, can you let me know like how you were feeling during the match?
Oh, I was shaking. Yeah, I was nervous. Yeah, especially for the second round. The first round I think I played a bit better than the second, but Analog came out guns blazing and just whooped me. But I feel like I did okay.
I think you
I'm not.
played incredibly well. I think we were all very impressed by your strategies. Some things, notably, like let's say the plasma room when you had high jump plus speed. Like I didn't even know you could run up and jump and reach that ledge, but clearly, like you knew because you would pause to see if you had that speed booster. So I like to see, I like seeing the strats that you would showcase. And I thought that was really cool.
You know, I had to adapt because I can't short charge and I can't make that wall jump, so I had to figure something
Yeah.
out.
So GG's analog. Tell me about what you were thinking. Tell me about that last death you took just right now. But how did you feel about like your Room 77 run and or 77? I can't remember. You got in the 70s, but how did you feel overall about the your performance?
Overall, I think I played quite well. The last couple of ones, I got really frazzled, and I was trying to do a um, a reset scam, but I miscalculated the time because stream has a delay.
Yep.
Yeah, that 77 run, I was cooking pretty good, and
Yeah.
that was the most preserves I've seen in a single sitting.
Yeah, I think 68 was my second highest under the 88. So
Mm.
that would have been almost a PB for me too. That was really nice.
Air. So tell me a little bit about like your history with Super Metroid. Like, have you been watching the speed runs and stuff? It seems like you're saying that arcade is kind of what got you into it, but we can see that like you know some of the strats. But we could also see that you're relatively new to the game. We can kind of tell by some of the movement things, but like you had a lot of good strats going into it.
I watched a lot of Oats and Goats and Emmett and your stream as well.
Yeah.
Arcade was the most exciting thing, and you know, I kind of didn't think I could ever even compete, and it was seeing Analog compete that was like, oh, maybe I can do this. And it's kind of surreal to have my match be against him. I think I was a little bit outmatched, even though my PB looks higher. I say that 88 was really just a fluke. My real, more accurate PB was probably more about 60, 68, 60, mid 60 somewhere. I've only broken 60 like 3 times. I've only been playing since, well, November. But Analog, really well played. Congratulations.
You played absolutely amazing for having only played since November. That was crazy.
It's so cool to see you play, Air. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's so cool because the way that you kind of made up for maybe some of the things that the less experience you have, but you have like these individualized strats. For example, when there's the 3 green key hunters in the before spore spawn entrance kind of room.
Yeah.
And you would just like, you get ready, you see it, and then you jump over him, right? There's like adaptations that you've made to be able to compete in this. I thought was really cool. There was a lot of, I can't even name all of them, but you have so many of those that was like really cool.
That guy smacked me a few times. I've kind of just learned to duck.
So the names right there, analog56x and errorx666. Those are both of their Twitch IDs, so give them a follow. Thank you both for playing. You guys both did awesome, and I had a great time.
I did as well, Eddie. Take care.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Okay.